Okay, Dave, we've reached the 14th hole now. You've been hitting it pretty well today. All right, so now we've got an opportunity. We need to make a decision. This is where your course management ability is really going to come into play. Okay, if you reach this point in the round and you were seeing a lot of balls going left on you, which is your miss,
right?
Okay, here I would say keep the driver in the bag. Okay, because you got to look at the situation. You do have some trees on the right, but your length, you're probably going to clear that. So the miss is to the right side here, okay, and that's in play. Left is out of bounds. And you've got a fairway that in the middle is going to slope everything towards out of bounds. So for you, that becomes a little precarious. Okay, if you hit your driver, there's a good chance that you're going to be on top of that hill. You'll have 200 yards into the green. Okay, it's a great scoring opportunity, especially because you have the ability to hit those shots. Okay, but if you get to this point in your round and you're not feeling comfortable with your swing, okay, this is a situation where I would say you would absolutely hit an iron off the tee. You hit 4-iron off that tee, you guarantee yourself that you're in play, and then you're an 8-iron wedge away from the green. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so in most situations, you're still giving yourself a great birdie opportunity here. Because you've been hitting the ball well, I'd say rip that driver, all right? Take it up that right side, up the cart path. If it comes back to the middle, it does. If not, it's gonna follow the contour of the hole as it goes right, all right? So you go through your setup, put a good swing on this one. Nice and stable here.
Really?
Well, you stayed nice and stable. We left it out to the right. All right, let's see the 4-iron.
Okay.
Excellent, good swing. All right, so that's gonna put you right at the 250 disc there. I mean, so even feasibly, you can get home from there with a 3-wood, but obviously we've put ourselves in perfect situation. Like I said, hit 8-iron wedge in. The first one, still in play though, right?
Yep.
Your miss was right, which is where we wanted the miss to be, which is great because we can punch that out. We can still get it, you know, into wedge range to get it up and down for par. So that's not gonna be much of an issue. Obviously, like I said though, this is one of those course management decisions that we've been talking about where these are make or break situations for your round. You know, you knock this ball out of bounds left and all of a sudden you've completely turned your round around. So these are just decisions that we want to think about, make good decisions, but really follow your game. Listen to yourself, listen to what your swing's been doing that day, and let that dictate what you do on the golf course.
Okay.
Just be aware of what's out there for you. Obviously, you're very familiar with the course.
Yes.
You've hit all these shots before. It's about piecing those shots together and listening to yourself as you do that. And that'll really take a big step forward in your game management.
It's always tough because on a hole like this, you just want to rip driver so you can try and get in two, but it's
Of course.
Of course, with my right to left, I could easily put it out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at double.
Exactly.
You know, so
yeah, that seriously changes the complexion of the hole. On a hole, like you said, if you hit a good drive here, I mean, it's almost a gimme birdie. This is a par 4 if you hit driver well here.
Yes.
So it's it's definitely one of those situations where with your length you can take advantage of it, and you want to be able to do that. Just listen to your game. You know, follow your game. Follow what your swing's telling you that day. It'll change day to day. You know that. So just listen to yourself on that. All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Let's go hit it. Okay, Dave. So we're a little bit later in the round here. We've got a drivable par 4. Okay, there's not a ton of trouble around the green. If we can get the ball up around the green with a decent drive, you have a good opportunity to get the ball up and down for birdie. If you hit a great drive, you're gonna put it on the green and have a putt for eagle. Okay, so this is a situation, again, we talked about listening to your game. Okay, if you're not hitting the ball well today, you can hit an 8-iron off the tee inside to 150 yards. It's a no-brainer, gives you an easy short iron into the club. Okay, because you hit the ball well though, and you've been hitting the ball particularly well today, I'm going to encourage you to miss this ball to the left if you do. Other than that, you can do whatever you want here, right? Get the ball out there, get it up around the green as far as you can, all right? Put a good swing on it. It's a good time to stay nice and stable here, right? Nice and stable. Great drive. Excellent, right in the front bunker, okay? That's a good position. From that position, you've got an easy shot, you've got an uphill green now you're chipping into out of that bunker. Great opportunity for an up and down. This is a great spot to get aggressive for you, okay? The miss works out for you, the miss is left, your miss is left. So those types of things start to come in congruency with you. It's gonna help your golf game. This is definitely a spot though where I would say you can get aggressive and get away with it most of the time, all right?
Perfect. Awesome.
Great, good shot there.
Thank you.
All right, so you hit the great drive here on the par 5. It's a great way to start your round. You've got an opportunity to go for it early. You've been hitting the ball well this far. We talked a lot actually about you listening to your game, allowing yourself to, you know, listen to your game, see what you've been doing. Well, you've hit the ball well so far. Par 5, you got 200 yards. You got a little water in front. The miss is long, so just go ahead and take that out of play, okay? And go ahead and hit the shot there. All right, go for it. Yep. Nice and stable on this one. Oh, great swing there. That's gonna be real good. Great, and just like that, I mean, you've given yourself a great start to your round.
Yeah.
You hit a great drive, great second shot. The miss was long. You hit a great shot in there. That was perfect, well done. All right, Dave, we're at the most interesting green that we could be at right now. Huge amount of slope from left to right, obviously. This is the part of the game where we talked about using your imagination, okay? Seeing the shot, reading the shot, thinking outside of the box to get this ball close to the hole, okay? Our traditional shot, we would think from this point, if we were gonna hit it somewhere even close to the flag or halfway up into the green area, okay, everything's gonna funnel off, okay? So if we hit a ball in this direction and we just throw a ball out there, you see how it's going to funnel way off and down.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to be able to get ourselves close to the flag there. Okay, so I know that we talked about this a little bit, the ability just to toss a couple golf balls around the course, right? So you see that's not even staying on the green. We're going to have to come up here more. So if we toss one up there, all the way up to the top edge of the green, you see how it's going to circle and work its way down.
Wow.
Okay, so this is part of the course management we talked about. Okay, using the course, seeing the shots, getting creative. Okay, that's what you need to do around the greens to get that ball close. We can't always just look at the shot and say, okay, well, yeah, uphill chip, whatever, we're going down, we're going to throw it down there and we'll see what happens, okay? It's not leaving yourself in the best opportunities. Got to get creative, got to see the shots, okay? So why don't we try to recreate that a little bit? You feel comfortable with the shot?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all about picking a spot, really. And it's so weird not to go towards the pin. Like,
Certainly.
you have to go, like, way away from it and just trust that the ball's going to release down.
Yeah, but you're gonna let the slope and let the golf course work for you here, all right? Up onto the slope. Let it funnel all the way down. That's great. That's gonna be fantastic.
On down more.
You know, you traditionally wouldn't even think to hit that shot.
Right.
Right, you'd never think, but because if you look at the shot itself, okay, if we hit it at the hole, that ball's landing on a downslope.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about picking your spot where you're going to land that ball. If we land this ball even on the front of the green like we saw, it funnels off to the front. So in order to get the ball up high enough, we actually have to land on that downslope. It's going to kick it off the green. The only option is to hit it up to the top of the green. And if you do that, if you look, the top of the green, we're actually chipping into an uphill spot.
Yep.
So our spot is now in an uphill location, so that ball's going to hit, check, and then we're going to let the hill filter it back to the hole. Whereas if we chip it in this direction, it's going to hit that downslope and shoot it out. We're going to have a lot less control over where that ball ends up.
And even straight on back here, you can see that it's lipped up, so you know it's just going to release back around like a big bowl.
Of course, and that's where you use that to your advantage. You always want to try to land that ball in an uphill situation there. Okay, that's going to allow you to have a lot more control over what that ball does and how it releases.
Yeah.
So that's a much more manageable way to play that shot. Like I said, not always, you know, your conventional way to play it. You wouldn't necessarily think to do that. But you can see the results are much better. So sometimes you just gotta think out of the box a little bit, use your creativity, imagination, and see a different shot sometimes, you know?
Cool.
But that was great.
Awesome.
That was well done.
Thank you.
Now, one thing that I'd like to talk to you about, Dave, is your game management. Okay, and we're gonna talk about a lot of this going forward.
Okay.
You know, we'll talk about it off the tee, selecting the proper shots and things like that. But as we start to get now into these closer shots, all right, when we start talking about landing the golf ball on the green, I want you to get a little more into it mentally as far as preparation and planning each shot out.
Okay.
Okay, so really now we're going to start talking about two things. We're going to start talking about picking a landing spot. Okay, so no matter where we are, what we're doing with our short game, we're picking a spot we want to land that golf ball. Okay, and that might be the size of this pool right here, but that's what we're aiming for. Okay, so no matter what distance we're hitting, we're picking a spot. And the second thing I want you to think about is what's going to happen when the ball hits that spot. Okay, is that spot a downhill? Is it uphill? Is it pretty flat? And when it rolls 10 feet, is it going to break left? Is it going to break right? So really starting to really dissect the golf course and and take from the golf course what it's going to give you. Okay, shot selection wise, when we start talking about club selection, we're going to start talking about really honing in on your shots. Okay, so what we need to think about is, obviously, like I said, we're going to be aiming for a spot, and that's going to be controlled by that clock method and working on our gap control. But the next really is about trajectory control. Okay, is the shot coming in high? Is it coming in with a mid trajectory? Is it coming in low? All right, and that's something that I really like to start to hone in with you, because I feel like once you marry those two things together, you've really developed a strong short game. And you've really given yourself a lot of options. So when you do get to 60 yards, you can take all three of your wedges and say, okay, well, I know that it might be an 8 o'clock shot with my 56. It might be a 7:30 shot with my 50. And if I want to hit my pitching wedge, you know, it might be even just 6:30. And those are going to give you three different trajectories, but they're going to give you all the same yardage. Okay.
What I could do method. How
Absolutely.
far you go back.
And then if you get yourself onto the golf course and you say, like, you know, we were just talking about, hey, I'm 70 yards out from the flag. Okay, well then, okay, I have my distance, right? You've got your clock methods all figured out. So now I just need to pick a trajectory. Well, I've got a bunker in front of the green. I need to come in high. We're going with 56. So that, you know, so right there, you've chosen the shot, and you've given yourself a much greater opportunity for success because you've chosen the proper shot. And that's the type of game management that's really going to pay off for you. All right, if you can really start to hone in on those types of things, it'll start to pay off. So does that sound like it makes sense?
Sounds great.
Sound like a good plan going forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about reading